I wanted to make a video for today because today is a very special day for me. Um, 2 years ago today, I heard the voice of God. Jesus spoke to me, and it completely changed my life. So I wanted to finally make a video and share this testimony with anybody who comes across this video. So to give a little bit of background, I grew up Christian, I guess you could say, going to Baptist church and Catholic church, between the two sides of my family. Sorry, I haven't had a lot of water today, so so that's why I'm like clearing my throat a lot. So I never really was like sat down and really told what the gospel of Jesus Christ is. So when my grandmother died, when I was 15, it really kind of just destroyed my spirit. And I remember from that day, I remember it like it was yesterday, that I cursed God, and I completely turned away from God at that time. And even as a teenager, I started to get into like witchcraft stuff, mostly like Wicca and zodiac astrology type of stuff, but nothing really serious. Now, I can also say that it seems like in my family, we have abilities or gifts, however you want to call them. And even as a child, I could see things or sense things. And so now I know that these are gifts of discernment. And I know now that when somebody has these types of gifts, that if you're not using them for God, then the enemy, Satan, he will use you how he wants to use you. He will push you through various means to reject God and to serve him instead of God. And so as a teenager, like I said, I kind of got into some of that stuff. And then I also dated a guy. I had no business dating this guy. I really wish that my parents were a little bit more vigilant in like keeping me safe from these types of things, but it's neither here nor there. But so the guy that I dated in high school, he was also like very into black magic, Satanism, and was not a very good boyfriend, and not a good first boyfriend at all. So needless to say, like, that relationship did not leave a good impact on me. But when I eventually broke up with him, after a few years, I started working. I started going to college, and I started going to like some of those like Christian rock band shows, that they have like shows at like a local church or something like that. And I met Christians, and I met Christians my age, and then I started going to church and started to find meaning, and that did help me a lot. And fast forward a few years, I got my own place and then kind of fell away from my faith and was kind of lost for a little bit. And so kind of like down the line, I ended up converting to Mormonism. That's another story. But I don't have any hate for Mormons. They're really nice people, but I found out a lot of things, and it's just not for me. And they have different opinions, so but when I found out all of the things that I found out, it was really a betrayal to me, because I was a really devout Mormon. I was a good Mormon. I was going to the temple at least once a month. I was reading my scriptures every day. I was, wearing my garments and living, how you're supposed to live, and just doing everything that I thought that I needed to do to be a good Mormon. And then finding out all of these things is just like such a betrayal. It really felt like I had been cheated on. I was heartbroken. And then from then on, I was atheist for I guess about 5 years, and then I had a couple of things happen to me, and just kind of one thing led to another, and I got back into witchcraft. And then I even worked at a metaphysical store, a witchcraft store, and I got really, really deep into it. Even I dated a Satanist, another one, and so then after a few years of me being a witch and unfortunately getting other people into witchcraft, I just kind of took a step back from my life. I tried to look at my life from the outside, and I thought to myself that all of this like spell work and monitoring the moon phases and the planetary alignments and all of that garbage, I just realized, like, I don't really think my life is any better from doing all of this. I like, you feel like, oh, you have this knowledge and you're so enlightened, and I can make stuff happen. Like, I can put a curse on somebody, I can put a love spell on someone, and things will happen. It will happen. And you feel like you have this power, but in the long run, like, I wasn't necessarily any happier. I wasn't necessarily any sadder, but I wasn't any happier. And that was in the summer of 2023. And so for a few months, I kind of just didn't do any witchcraft stuff. And then October 7th happened. Now, I should back up a little bit and say that I've kind of always had like a interest or fascination with other religions, and I have done a lot of research and reading into different religions, one being Islam. And where I work now, I do work with quite a few Muslims. And so when I started working at my job, I kind of like refreshed my memory, like watched some YouTube videos, and then I came across like ex-Muslim YouTube, and it was just like ex-Muslims talking about Islam. And then October 7th happened, and it really shook me. I saw so much of that footage, and it just reminded me that there really is true evil in this world. I'm trying not to cry because I have my makeup on. But it kind of like shifted my mindset a little bit, and made me wonder like about good and evil. Now, fast forward a little bit to today, 2 years ago today. So I don't know when this is gonna be published. Hopefully I can put this up pretty soon, but as of today, November 25th, right? November 25th, 2023, I was getting ready for work, and this one video came across my recommendations many times, and I remember I would always skip it, and it was a video that said something like Muslim woman has dream of Jesus. And at this time, remember, I'm not a Christian, and I was just like, I don't want to listen to this BS. And so I didn't really have much to watch, and you kind of get into that like watch fatigue where you're like, I don't know what to watch, but I gotta put something on in the background. And so I just clicked on it, and if I can find it, I'll link it in the description. But and you can even go see my comments on there. So this woman is giving this story about, and I mean, I might not remember it exactly, but she's telling the story about how she was dreaming, and then she like felt like she was on fire, and she couldn't explain what it was, but it wasn't like a painful fire or anything, but she just felt this incredible warmth and just peace. And as Muslims, they don't believe that they're worthy of God coming to them, of God approaching them, that they're just too filthy for God to speak to them or to grace them. And so apparently to them, like, God can come to you in a dream. And so what happened was, she said that for like a year she was searching, trying to figure out what that was. And then after a year, Jesus came to her and he told her, you don't have to keep looking. That was me. That was my love for you. And so, long story short, like, obviously she became a Christian, and she's, letting everybody know what happened. My little cocky self wrote something along the lines of, this is bullshit. Doesn't God send angels to give us messages? And why would God leave her confused for an entire year? Just tell her who you are. Tell her. And I get in my car I'm driving to work. It's about a 25-30 minute drive. And I'm listening to this song. It's like one of my favorite love songs. I'm a very lovey-dovey, sensitive person, if you can't tell, because I'm crying. I cry a lot. This is just how God made me. But I'm listening to this song. It's called Love Song for a Vampire. It's from the Bram Stoker's Dracula soundtrack. Great song by Annie Lennox. And it's like love through the ages. And I'm listening to this beautiful song. And I hear this voice. This voice that tells me, this is the love you have through me. And when I say I heard a voice, I mean that I heard a voice like somebody was next to me. And in like a split second, I was scared because I don't hear voices. But in that same split second, it wasn't a voice, but it was something else that told me, don't be afraid. And then it was immediately, I felt like I was on fire. And I received a lot of revelation in that few minutes of time. I don't even know how I was able to drive. I felt like I was going to pass out from the overwhelming peace and love and kindness that I felt. And I'll go into another video about that because unfortunately I have to go, but I might come back for a part 2 once I get done from work. But that voice was so quiet and it was so loud at the exact same time. And it was like immediately I knew, my soul knew that that was the voice of Jesus Christ. And that completely changed my life because I felt a love that I've never felt. And it was incredible. And I wish that everybody could feel that. Everyone.